Hi everybody, I'm Ewan Mochrie, Master Trainer of NLP. We've just come to the end of an NLP Master Practitioner training, and with me I've got former Marine Mark Ormrod. Now Mark has a very interesting story, a particularly unique story. Mark, I was just wondering if you could just tell us a little bit about your journey in life so far.
Yeah, well, as you just said, I'm a former Marine. I joined the military when I was 17 with a hope to live out a full 22-year career. In 2007 I was deployed to Afghanistan, and on Christmas Eve I stood on an improvised explosive device. I suffered severe damage to both legs and my right arm, and as a result of that I had to have them amputated, both legs above the knees and my right arm above the elbow. I remember the whole the incident from the moment I stepped on the IED, pretty much up until the helicopter landed to take me off to the field hospital.
Because you're in a pretty bad way there, I would have thought.
Yeah, no, I was. So the improvised explosive device went off. If you can imagine the ground in Afghanistan, it created a huge cloud of smoke, so I couldn't see anything and didn't really know what was going on initially. My fight or flight adrenaline spiked, so I remember in my head thinking, as soon as this dust clears, we need to find out where these guys, because I thought we'd been attacked, find out where these guys are and start fighting back, which I guess was a few seconds but seemed like a lot longer at the time. Things tended to slow down in that incident. As the dust settled, and then I was getting ready to identify where these guys were, I noticed, I looked down and noticed that I was missing both my legs. Initially, I didn't really know what they were doing because I was a bit concerned about what I was looking at with my legs. As I looked around to try and find where they were and see what it was they were doing, was when I noticed the extent of the injuries to my arm. As things started to sink in a little bit, the reality of what was happening, I was looking around to see where the guys were, and there was a guy, very young out of training, making a way to me, to make sure that there was a safe path when the medic got there. The guy whose responsibility it was with the radio to get a message back to the headquarters had already done that. A lot of guys were, I think they were in defensive positions, they didn't have any direct responsibilities, and the guys were just working like a well-oiled machine, and it was really professional, which is why I survived. Yeah, I arrived back in the UK the early hours of Christmas morning back in 2007. I spent 3 days unconscious in a coma, and I think it was a further 4 or 5 days in the intensive care ward before they moved me up to the burns and plastics ward and started to wean me off the pain relief and drugs and bring me back into the real world. When I woke up initially, because of the pain relief and the medication and the morphine, things were kind of like a dream, like it wasn't really happening. And although in the back of my mind I sort of knew what had happened, I'd been injured, I didn't realise when I woke up the extent of my injuries. It was very foggy, and I initially thought I'd just lost my feet and a few fingers on my right arm. And it wasn't until it was one of the days I was in intensive care. I pulled my arm out from under the bed sheet, and I started giggling, and the nurse was saying, "Why are you laughing?" I said, "Oh, the morphine, it makes it's making me look like my arm's falling off." And just the look on her face sort of was like, it confirmed to me that it had, I was missing it. I wasn't just missing fingers, I was missing an arm. But the beauty of the pain relief and morphine is it's not that you don't care, but you're just able to accept it a lot easier, and the way they did that for me was perfect. They weaned me off the drugs and the morphine in such a way that I could accept it at a decent level every day until they took me off it, and brought me back into what I call consciousness. think a lot of it was down to my training as a Marine and the pride that I had in being a Marine. You know, I joined at 17 and grew up very quickly, going through training, and you know that training instilled a mental toughness in me which I didn't have to that point,
right.
which is something I've carried with me now throughout the rest of my life. And I pretty much took that mindset from training when I woke up and applied it to my rehab, and just thought, you know, I'm gonna treat this rehab like I was treating training, and just hit it as hard and fast as I can, you know, and try and do the best I can. I think having, you know, friends and family around was, you know, it was a massive support for me. And you know, I obviously had days when I didn't, you know, really feel as good as I do nowadays, and having them there to support me and push me on really helped a lot.
And what sort of impact does that have when you tell your story, say in a business environment or something?
I think it puts things into perspective for people. You know, with all the recession and everything that's happened over the last few years, morale in companies has gone down a lot. You know, employees' morale's gone down, and they think, you know, things are really, really tough. And then, you know, you stick someone on stage in front of them who's missing 3 limbs and has managed to, you know, push through that, and they then go away from there thinking, actually, my problems aren't that bad.
Another thing you've done as well is you've written this book, Man Down, which is about your story, but it includes a little bit about what you did before as well.
Well, I was going through rehab actually, because in the evenings, you know, when things shut down, the staff at home, I got bored sometimes. You know, I couldn't play the computers like all the other guys did, and spent a lot of time either reading or just searching on the internet. And so I got a ghostwriter to help me write a book. I dictated to him, told him my story, you know, from a young kid up to joining the Marines, going to you know, Iraq, and my life as a, you know, doing bodyguarding and those kind of things, up to the point when I was injured, and then a bit more recovery afterwards. I initially got into NLP to try and improve myself as a speaker, to become a more effective communicator. And then along that path, once I, you know, finished practitioner training, and while I was looking into it more and learning it, I came across coaching, which was something that was new to me. I'd never done it in my life before. And I started looking at what it involved and how effective it was and how it helped other people, and decided it was something that I wanted to do as well, which is why I came on the Master Practitioner's course, and I'm hoping next year to go on the coaching course too. And as well as being a speaker, I'd like to set myself up as a life coach, a success coach, or whatever, and use that to help other people too.
I watch it fall down to the ground, cut off the things that weighed me down. There's nothing left I'm trying to hide, living life now, feeling free inside. Feeling free inside. I see the beauty of the sun, another day has just begun. I start to dream and start to see, wonder what the world has for me, what it has for me. So I'm moving on. course. I finally found the one right track. No turning around, not going back no more. Not falling anymore. And nothing beats when you can see within your grasp your destiny. So open up your hands and fly. Don't let the day, don't let it pass you by. Don't let it pass you by. So I'm moving